Hi, and welcome to part 3 of the Bedford restoration build. In this episode, you're going to see us finishing off a lot of the woodwork and doing all of the insulation, ready to get the vehicle boarded. Hi!
Yep, that leaks. Yep, that leaks. That leaks. Yep. Whoop. That leaks. Well, no, the top half's okay, the bottom half's pouring. Oh, thank you. There is a small hole.
Right here.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, there's water coming in there. I think there's only 37 holes.
We have had to clean the vehicle off slightly. You'll notice it is less green. Over here has had quite the filler patch, which has been done with fiberglass filler just to try and get that section watertight. To insulate the vehicle, we've used 20mm thick insulation, which has the reflective backing on both sides, and we've been cutting this to the size of the squares and then gluing them in. At some point in this vehicle's history, somebody decided to do a rewire of sorts, making both the positive and negatives for a lot of the aftermarket added appliances using a yellow and green cable, which is now making it really easy for us to trace what goes where, particularly considering some of these cables have just been cut and left. So when investigating where all the wiring is going on this vehicle, I've had quite an interesting discovery, which is there appears to be 2 sets of household 3-core cable wrapped around the bolt on the bell housing and then strapped here, I presume, to ground the engine, suggesting that the electrics on this vehicle are somewhat questionable. As we move into the engine bay, the attention to detail has been pretty well consistent. We've got some stunning wiring in here, as you can see. Now that all goes off somewhere under the vehicle, and to ensure that they've got an appropriate power rated cable, they've used a household 240 volt cable. Please donate so he can buy new trousers. Thank you for watching part 3 of the Bedford restoration, which has been this week's progression on the vehicle. As you can see, we've been very busy trying to test this vehicle and get it watertight, as well as getting it insulated, and you will see in the next video us boarding the vehicle out. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. Hi, welcome to part 2 of the Bedford restoration. In this one, we're going to show you a little bit more of what we've progressed through this week. Enjoy. First step on this is fitting the back end on it, and getting all the wood lined up so that we can square it all up there. So we're going to show you us trying to fit that, and hopefully it will fit. Hi.
I think I might have messed up here.
That doesn't look like it fits, I'll be honest.
Oh, look.
Oh, that was just not surprised at all.
Hey, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I will tell you there's one design flaw there.
What's that? Oh no, it's meant to be there, that.
Split screen.
Yeah, it's designed. Oh, look.
Okay.
Tap it 2 times till that's not going to fit.
That one's not going to fit.
No.
Should it fit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on. Alex, do you mind your fingers?
Oh, you bugger.
Oh, I thought there was trouble there for a minute.
Well, how much you out by?
Oh, 5 mil.
That much?
Right. We can leave that one in. Take that one out. Go back to the drawing board. Cry a little bit. We'll start again. Up there in your 20-degree office when I'm working down in -4.
I'm here. I'm here all the time as far as the camera's concerned.
Right.
We're going to take it all apart then?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yep. And there's a good reason for that. Can't be asked.
I don't know why you passed me this because you've still got the pencil.
Oh, of course, you wouldn't have one by yourself, would you?
What did you want? 18?
Yeah.
Well, why would I need a pencil in my 20 degrees office? Oh no, I've said it on camera.
Is that 7?
I haven't a clue. Could be.
Okay. We'll say it is. We can always edit it afterwards.
It's another day in paradise.
Years later.
Okay, as you've seen, we've now built the half laps for the back end of the vehicle, and we're now going to get that all glued and screwed in place, and you will see that time lapse now. Hi, thank you for watching part 2 of the Bedford restoration. In this build you'll see that we've started to put together the back end of the vehicle. The next step on the build is to now start stripping out the roof and water testing the other side of the vehicle so that we can make sure we don't miss any areas where it has leaks. In the next build, hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit more of the progression, and I will show that to you next Thursday. As you can see, this Bedford van is in immaculate condition, and it's got a beautiful paint job with a nice little bit of patina in there. Additionally, going along with that is minimal rust in all of the usual places along the top, bottom, doors and underside. But other than that, this is a really good, strong running motor if it started. Hello and welcome back to another episode of who knows what we've taken on, but we're going to do it. Hopefully by the end of this video, you will see something a little bit tidier than this. What we've decided to do is take on this 1980s Bedford restoration project that currently is looking in a very sorry state, as you can see.
Right, that's one down. Is that one free as well? No? Yeah. So I'm going to say that's all rotten. Well, I think we're nearly there.
Do you like what we've done with the place?
Yeah. This is finished then, yeah?
Yeah, we're almost ready to go back to the customer.
Yeah.
I think, we might have a little sweep up maybe.
Is this original?
Yeah.
That's not bad, that bit, actually.
Yeah.
That one bit is all right.
Do you like it? So first step when taking on a project like this is to actually establish, is it watertight? In this case, the answer is no. So during the water test, this didn't fare all that well. We've noticed there is quite a lot of spots where it's coming through.
Whoa.
All of the vents, all of the windows, and then we've also discovered a few holes such as up here, and moving along, another one here. A lot of the framework in this is very, very rotten, and therefore in order to structurally reinforce it, we're going to have to take it out and redo it bit by bit. The problem with this is if we took out the entire structural frame of this, the likelihood is it would just flop. So to avoid doing that, we're actually having to do it small section by small section, and hopefully it will still be in one piece at the end of it. So here we are in the wood room, which is where the magic happens. Remember, we talk in millimeters here because we're not weird. In order to do this, what we've tried to do is half lap them, which improves the strength across the whole because obviously there is no movement in that whatsoever. By half lapping those two and just wedging them in there, it's very, very strong. There is very little movement, and that ensures that we keep the structural rigidity throughout the vehicle. Okay, we're going to do a real quick speed video on how we've been doing these half laps using the table saw. Obviously, safety first, which is why he is wearing safety glasses. What we started by doing is by replacing this side here, working from the door backwards. We've managed to strip out the entire section and replace that. We've got the framework in for this side, and I'm going to show that time lapse for you now. And if I show you into the interior, this door doesn't open. This was part 1 of our Bedford restoration. Thank you very much for watching. Part 2 will be available next week. Hopefully in the next video we will be able to show you a bit more of the putting together of the build as opposed to all the stripping that has been involved in this episode. Of the van, not us, just before you get confused. Thank you for all your support. Please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Hi, welcome back. So in this one we're going to show, as we work through the very awkward bits on this vehicle, what we are doing on this vehicle is trying to fit bits onto it that shouldn't fit, which is always good fun, including this box here. Let me tell you, it was a struggle, and I can assure you, you will see me probably swearing at it. We're currently trying to fit the 500 litre rear back carry, or the Ultra Box as Fiona call it, onto the back of this motorhome, which it shouldn't fit. It doesn't really want to fit, but we're going to make it fit. We are having a few issues though. We haven't filmed the first lot of issues, but you can now watch us having the next lot. So next step now is to mount the lower bracket mount piece and get that fitted, which again, shouldn't fit on here because of the shape of the motorhome. It doesn't actually want to fit the full width of the bar, so we've got to cut them down to size and squeeze it in there, and then hope the box actually fits on the back because it is looking very, very tight. Tight fit would be an understatement on this. We've got clearance, but it is only just clearance. It's the same on both sides. So thankfully it's not another probably 10 centimetres bigger, and then it would be rubbing on this edge and we wouldn't be able to fit it in. So obviously we designed and planned it like that, and it wasn't luck at all. But actually it does look rather neat on there. Okay, it's time to test this window. Oh, would you just look at that for perfection. It sits nicely. You can actually just about open and close the window, which again was obviously totally planned and not luck at all. Anyway, now we've actually got to get the box to mount on there properly and stay in place. We have discovered a slight problem, which is where this one sits, the bolt currently touches just on there, which is a bit of a pain because it means we've got quite a gap up here. And that's the same on both sides. So what we need to do is bring this bolt here, if I can get my finger in, further into there. But the issue with that is as soon as we do that, we end up with the bolt going too far in and hitting the back of this, which means we can't tighten it up properly. So what we've got to do is take the bolts out, make them a little bit shorter, and then see if we can get it to go further in so that it's not sticking out so much. Much struggle later, it is in. So we've got the bolts in the top here, which they wrap around the back like that. And we've got these here, which go through, and they've got a square head on them to hold that in place. And that's now not going anywhere. So what we need to do is now cut the, I'll try and show you on this one, cut the excess of the bolt off, so that we can then put the plastic heads on like I have done on this one, which just makes it all a lot neater and simpler.
Who's a good boy bringing the coffees? Yeah. We've managed to fit 200 watts of solar, just about, in this gap, which has been quite a nightmare because you can see this hasn't been the kindest to us with the gap that's been made available. Bit steep. This van has been a challenge from start to finish, but here goes. So originally the design was a fixed bench along this side and a fixed bench along the other side. I've got a picture that I can probably drop in now. There you go, the beauty of technology. And what we've done instead is the customer wanted to be able to add an additional row of seating. So what we've had to do is modify this so that we've now got the structural mounting point that goes through the floor and around the chassis. And then all of this will, when it's not looking so messy, slide out to become a double bed. We're just currently waiting on the upholstery to be able to finish. Unfortunately, I haven't filmed the building of this, but we should film some of the next steps as we get it all together one final time. So as you can see, we've now got all the cushions in, and Curtis is pulling stupid faces. We've now got all the cushions in. Ah! Oh, the cupboard's open. Do you ever get like deja vu moments? So as you can, just get out of the van now, I'm done. Here's me trying to make it look not scripted and just... So in here we've got all the cushions set up now. What's nice about this is when it's in the seating position, this will fold away so that you've got the two seats there, but actually, when it's like this, you can turn this into a really nice small L-shaped bench, and then you've got the fixed bench along here. As you can see, we've got comfortable seating across here. You can sit in the corner. It's all very, very comfortable. The use of space is really, really nice. And this feels like a really nice place to be able to sit. So now we're going to show you how the bed is made, and we will show you that time lapse now. Thank you for watching this video. As you've seen, we've been quite busy on this one. You'll notice there is a large space there with the exception of the steps, which is being made for something very special. Now, if you subscribe, you will hopefully be able to see that. It's going to be a very interesting project for us, which means it will be interesting, hopefully, for you to watch. Thank you for watching. Give us a like. We really appreciate the support. Okay, today we're going to be going through a little bit of the work that we're actually doing for today, which will be carpet lining and installing the roof and lining the roof, putting a few lights into this vehicle. So for this, we're going to show you step by step how we do it, providing we remember to film it all. So here, this is quite an awkward van to carpet line just because it's a very small space that requires quite a lot of stretching to be able to do it. So it's a great van to watch us struggle on. For this, we're going to need the carpet lining. We're also going to need some high temperature adhesive glue, and we'll also be using a few tools to get the job done. All right, first step is actually to measure the length of the carpet that you need, which will be, I have no idea, you tell me.
190 to there, so let's go 220.
210, 220, just add a little bit extra to ensure that we've got enough. We'll give you a swizzle. Ta-da! Pull. Get your coat, love, you're pulled. So, when carpet lining, start at the top, work your way down. Make sure you've removed things like the door seals, which we haven't.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so just leave it about 30 seconds. This is where you need the countdown music.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to call it 30 seconds. All right, so we're going to go on this fold here. So just to give you a closer look in here, what we've done is we've put it up to this ledge here. We haven't particularly glued this piece because it will be seen from this point once we put the roof in. You see that follows that line all the way down. And we've glued, roughly 10-15 centimeters here, which is enough for us to get a starting point, and then we can work our way down from there and then wrestle with the wheel arch, which is always the best bit. What you'll also notice is this one, because it did have rear seats, the lining in this is slightly different to your normal caddy van, but what we'll do is we will cut that out and just tuck it under. Anyway, we'll show you the next steps now. Okay, so now we're at this point. You'll see we've got the wheel arch in, and we've done a little bit of trimming just so that we could tuck it in around the edges there. There's still a few bits that want tidying up, but next step really is to now start doing the cutting out. So around both those edges, and all we'll do is run a blade along the edge and then tuck the seal in, and that'll finish it off. And we also need to tuck in this bit up here, so we'll show you that now. Remind me, why does it take so long? Is it your fault? Where are you going? Big stretches. Now at the point where we've managed to carpet both sides. See, it's all in, and so we've got all of these indents in here as well. We think little accents like this really help. Same with marking around where all the boards start and finish. So the next piece to be done is this top section here, which tends to be one of the most awkward pieces, because the aim is to try and make the join so that you can't see it at all, which sometimes is easy to do. On this one, because it's at quite an angle and you've got to follow this around all the way up here, it tends to be a little bit more difficult. Okay, so let's get the carpet out and find a straight edge.
None of them.
We have one straight edge. It's always a bonus. And all we're using here is an offcut from the bottom of another piece. That way you can ensure that it's a perfect colour match. You tend to find actually from the start to the end of a roll of carpet, it does change. I want it there. No, actually I want it down there. I want to get the top of this bit and right into the edge of the carpet without actually getting it all over the carpet.
I've done that.
Ooh, feisty one you are.
Okay, something like that, with a little bit of overhang. Okay, And then, oh, that's a benefit actually that I've just thought of. Being the tailgate model, we haven't got the two bits that we have to cut around,
Oh yeah.
which makes my life a little bit easier. Okay, so first step, which I should have changed my blade for, but here we are, is just cut off a fair amount of the excess. Yeah, really should have changed the blade. And yeah, we'll just listen to Curtis changing the blade. Okay, so now I've flipped you around this way, and yeah, obviously we cut out all of that bit in the middle where we were talking. We are going to start by gluing this piece in here and up here, and then we're going to have to start cutting it in, which is the fun bit. So, now we've tucked this up and we've got loads of excess, but
I thought it was accent.
excess, not access, behave. Next job is
Roof. Cables.
next job, yeah, well done, thank you. To wire these cables in for the solar panel, and then we need to get the roof up, get the VW logo in, and start carpet lining the roof as well.
LED light cables. For the spots.
Put the solar panels in, wire that in, put the cabling in, fit the spots. No, we want to carpet, then fit the spots. And get the VW logo in. Gotta do that before carpet. Whatever, you'll see. So we might have slightly forgotten to film this section, but we've now got this in and the roof lining in, and fitted the VW logo as requested by the customer. So the next step now is to carpet line the ceiling, and then we'll start getting the lighting in. Hi, so we might have slightly forgotten to film quite a lot. It's a new day, in case you couldn't tell, different hat, sure. Anyway, so we've got the roof lining up, we've done some of the electrics, fitted 240 volt and stuff like that. So next job now is to fit our USB points and wire all of that in and wire up the lights in the ceiling, and we'll time lapse that and show it to you. And action! That made a massive dust cloud, didn't it? Oh, lovely. Okay, it's finished. So here you'll notice it's been fully carpet lined. We've got the lights in, the VW logo. We've got 240 and a 12 volts hookup on this side. We've got 12 volt USBs on the other side. We've laid the flooring. Carpet lining this, as you've seen earlier in the video, can be quite a pain, but it's actually turned out really nice. So we'll show you on the other side. And then Here we've got our latest build, which is a Land Rover Defender we've been working on for a little while for a customer that intends to spend 90 days in Africa. You're making this really easy for me, aren't you? The customer's main requirements for the vehicle was to have something that they can take across to Africa and have a very user-friendly vehicle. This means that they wanted an emergency bed in addition to the bed at the top there, just in case there's any problems with the tent itself. They also required additional electrics, leisure battery, split charge, the usual things that you would have in a camper van. They've got a small 12-volt fridge in there, which is obviously running all the time. And in addition to that, they've got water storage, which is mounted in the rear wheel arch for fresh water. We'll show all of this later in the video. The vehicle has had a full insulation process to ensure that we can try and keep as much of that heat out and try and keep the temperatures down inside the vehicle. This has meant we've given it the full 3-stage process, which starts off with the Dodo sound deadening mat, the reflective backed liner, which also has a foam backing on it, and then any space we have left has the recycled plastic insulation. The aim with this is to try and sound deaden the vehicle a little bit more as well, as these from factory are quite noisy. This vehicle features several lighting options. This includes the 4 reading lights we've got in here, which light up in either blue, when you don't want to create too much light in the vehicle, say when you wake up in the middle of the night, and the white. In addition to this, around the back of the vehicle, we have this large spot which illuminates the entire back end, so that if they want to have cooking facilities or just better view outside, they can use this light as well. Storage in a small space can be quite limited. However, we've tried to maximise this by using every little bit of space, including these small 4 cubbies, where you can also see our reflective backed lining as well. In addition to that, you've got these large holes where we can store plenty of bits and pieces for their travels. In order to make the bed, we've had to try and maximise every inch of space by folding the seats down, and then we've got several sections that unclip, which allow it to all open up step by step. And this creates the back area of the bed. We then have this section that folds out, and I'm going to show that for you now. As you'll see, once made up, this makes a decent sized bed, admittedly a bit small for 2, but given the space that's actually allowed in the vehicle, this is quite spacious and still gives you full access to the storage here and also to the fridge. Down here is the electric storage, which has the battery, cut-off switch, fuse board and the split charge. You'll also notice we've got the fridge here that opens up from this way and the essential bottle opener. In addition to that, here we have the 12-volt supply, which is supplying the fridge in case they ever want to be able to remove it. We haven't hardwired this in, and additionally 2 USB switches. So the water system on here has a fill-up point in the side, which is then goes in through the vehicle and down into this metal water tank that is mounted in the rear arch panel, not taking up any of the internal space. That is then gravity fed out to this here, and there you have your fresh water. Thank you for watching this video. As you'll know, we've got plenty of other projects on. You may have noticed to my right hand side here, we've got a motorhome in that's having the interior furniture rebuilt to turn it from a 2-berth to a 4-berth. Additionally, under the sheet there is something very special, and we will get to that in a later video. Thank you, and if you enjoyed this, please subscribe and like. Before actually going ahead with the conversion, the most important thing is picking the right converter. The main question is, do you trust that converter's work, and are you confident they're going to be able to build what you're looking for? Talk with the converter, discuss what your needs are, your requirements, and ensure they're actually able to meet those, because if they don't share your vision, you're not going to get what you're looking for at the end of it. We chose to handcraft our interiors as opposed to buying them in, because we believe by building by hand, we can achieve things that isn't possible with a CNC machine. For example, we can put chamfers and curves on edges that can't be achieved with machinery. In addition to that, we're able to hand scribe everything and get every piece of furniture to fit perfectly to the space, which means we can take advantage of the space and in some cases make use of space that would otherwise be lost. In general, we found the conversion market has grown, and as the market has grown, we found specific areas of that market have grown with it. For example, building vehicles for people with disabilities, or building for people who have specific needs from their vehicles. For example, if you want to take a motorbike to the track, if you want to be able to use your van to take your surfboard or bike within it and not compromise on comfort and space. We've seen an increase in demand over the last 3 to 4 years, and I don't think that increase is going to slow down. The reason for this being is that post-COVID, we found people were nervous to go abroad and as such have started to discover the British countryside. Having gone out to the British countryside, they've realised why spend thousands going abroad to somewhere pretty when it's on your doorstep. In addition to that, people have also had a change in mindset. They've realised that they don't know what's around the corner, and as such, they've decided instead of putting off getting their camper van until retirement or some date in the future, they're going to take advantage of the opportunity and do it now. Another factor for this is the fact that influencers and social media has certainly impacted people's views on the use of camper vans. People are seeing the benefits of being able to go away in their camper van and have that freedom, something that wouldn't otherwise be available in other choices of holidays. This has actually led to there being more of a lifestyle choice as opposed to a holiday choice.